Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I was sitting here, I shot my Verne SD XL along with my Phoenix arm. I'm going to shoot my Taurus G2C next week. I'm going to shoot just one round. But I was just thinking to myself, you know, it's a beautiful privilege to be able to defend yourself. I do not take it lightly that it can be taken away from you. I think I posted a video yesterday about excessive force. You really gotta be careful. I mean, literally, you know, back when I was growing up, well, I mean, it was dangerous too, and it was a lot of gangsters and drug dealers. But gun, it had command a lot of power, and it does command a lot of power still. But you just can't go, depending on the neighborhood, and just be shooting around and it's gonna be unchecked. There's consequences of shooting your gun. And I understand. I mean, because a lot of people was just shooting people and no justice. And the sad thing about it, there was people shooting people knowing somebody did it, but they didn't want to say nothing because they didn't want any smoke or any consequences. So I'm very much about that two-way. But you know, I'm glad it's a lot more restrained. You just can't, you know, go around shooting whatever. I mean, you can't even go around shooting with a less lethal. Be mindful that, you know, everything you shoot comes with a lawyer attached with it. And then a lot of people talk all this stuff about, well, this and this. I'm like, I'm sorry. You may be able to shoot where you are, but where I am, I just can't be shooting just be shooting. It has to be controlled. It has to be regulated. It has to be responsible. Some people say, well, you know, this party, this restricting this. I'm like, you got to have both. You got to have the ability to protect yourself, but you can't be excessive. You just can't go above the Call of Duty because this person pissed you off and you feel like you want to get into some extra rounds. You can't do that. You just can't. I mean, you know, and if some people feel offended, be offended. Be offended. Because you can have a bad day, then you want to take it out on innocent people at a store. You know, I think about these active shooter people and these sick human beings that deserve wherever they get. And you decide to go into a school and do this against defenseless people. Oh my God. I hate those people. I hate them. I absolutely hate them and deserve, if there was an old-fashioned hanging, they deserve it. Those people who show up mosque or show up people knowing that they can't defend themselves, or they in their most vulnerable state. That's, you know, that's why you need regulation. You need control. You need all the laws that governs. But I also need to be able to defend myself too. If somebody decides to shoot, you know, I have to be able to defend myself. I have the right to defend myself from somebody who think they're going to take justice in their own hand. This is an election year. Imagine one party don't feel upset. They win. What they going to do? You going to take it by force? Are you going to be Homelander? You going to be just a unsoup Homelander, and you just going to, if it doesn't go your way, you just going to go kill people? No, you can't do that. It has to be regulation. It has to be. It has to be stopgaps for people just to have unchecked power. I'm just passionate. I hate seeing people who can't defend themselves. I hate it. I hate it. But it has to be regulations. But I also have to be able to defend myself too at the same time. So, in a perfect world, I wish we had no need for any guns of any kind. I really wish that was the case. If you say the option of everybody have guns versus the option of all guns taken away from the face of the earth, I would choose to take all guns away from the face of the earth. And use other means of self-defense. But in a real world, which we live in, we got real situations and real problems and real sickness, and you got to be able to have some form of protection. Now, this is the thing I never understand about places that says no guns. That's fine, no firearms, no anything. What do you have to defend the people if I'm not allowed to have anything? If I'm not allowed to have anything, which is fine, that's your right, that's your legal whatever. Do you have a security officer? Do you have an undercover cop? Do you have security measures? Do you got metal detectors? What do you got to protect the people since you're not allowing them to protect themselves? And that is where I have a problem with organizations. They tell people, well, no firearms, no this, no that. And then you don't have anything. Nothing. You don't have an undercover cop. You don't have nothing. You got to give me something. You got to give me a reason why I can't take my firearms. You got to give me something. You got to give me some comfort to know that I am being protected. And a lot of places don't. They only say that for liability. They only say it for liability so they won't get sued. Get it? I understand. Guns is a hot topic. Always have been. Political. No matter what year. It could be 2097. Guns going to be an issue in politics. But I have the right to protect myself. If this was 1869, 1875, I should have the right to protect myself. Back then, black people wasn't even allowed to even have guns. Why? Because if they did, they could at least protect themselves when the Ku Klux Klan started coming around. So imagine if we had the ability to protect ourselves in 1888 or the 1900s. So fast forward where everything is now, everybody got equal footing for the most part. I have the right to protect myself. But I also want some type of regulation so anybody can't just get a gun. And people say, well, that's what you do when you go do the background check. Let me tell you something. When I got my gun, my address on my ID wasn't even correct. I just said I lived there and I got a gun. Now I wasn't far from that location. But it was easy. It was easy to bypass, as long as you do not have a felony or have any type of record. It was quite easy to get a gun. If I knew it was that easy to get a gun, I would have been got a gun years ago. I thought the regulation was a whole lot tougher. Well, in my state. In other states, it's a lot tougher. But in Kansas and Missouri, it's a matter of, do you live in the area and do you have money to pay for the gun? If you got that and you answered all the questions the way they want, getting a gun is pretty easy. So anyway, I went on more of a rant. But I felt like it's something that needed to be said. All right, have a good one.